Hey there. Welcome back to episode 2 of the Aiden Davis Productions podcast, hosted by Aiden and Haley. Today we're kind of going to be having a conversation about imposter syndrome, how we've dealt with it, how you could possibly navigate that this horrible feeling, because I know it's
like everyone goes through it.
Everyone goes through it. I don't like it. I don't think anyone likes it. I mean, it's something that I've learned that is never going to go away. I mean, gosh, like some of the top wedding videographers, I'm going to take this off and get rid of this arm because I feel like I can't move around with it.
Yeah, I can move freely.
So, if you're dealing with imposter syndrome, this is the video for you.
I'm feeling like a brand new me.
Okay, and what are some moments you felt like you had imposter syndrome at some weddings?
So I think when filming weddings, I get the most imposter syndrome when I am directing or when I have to jump in. But I think with imposter syndrome, it's more of it's not necessarily during the day of, it's more during it's anything other than working a wedding on the day of. Because with the day of, it's just I'm so dialed in, I'm so focused where it's just there's not really any room to worry about that. It's a feeling of I've obviously got the nerves before going into wedding day, but then it's once you get to the venue, for me at least, it's just those nerves go away and it's just go time.
I feel like that's reversed.
Really?
For you and me.
You're not nervous before?
No.
Really?
Maybe it's just because I'm the second shooter.
Possibly.
But I feel like when I'm there, now that I'm 20, I don't think I have. I might. We haven't done a wedding yet now that I'm 20, but because I'm so young, we're both so young, that whenever we're coordinating a couple or if we're moving them around, I'm just okay, I'm younger than you. I can't tell you what to do.
Yeah. One thing with imposter syndrome, I feel like it's just you got to get over the numbers. You got to get away from your age, the money, how much other people are making. That's the one thing I've also fallen into the trap of is a lot of, and this is kind of controversial. A lot of people say that looking at other people's content in films and videos are bad because you'll kind of want to be like them and try and see what they want to do. But it's also I look at other people's films every single day because I find inspiration from that. And so I think inspiration is good, but it's just falling into the trap of wanting to be like them, wanting to be like other people, wanting to be up with top vendors of Utah and videographers of Utah, and just obviously those videographers are great, but it's just also remembering I've got my own style, and knowing that clients are going to choose me for my style, and just appreciating that, and knowing that the couples who are booking with me trust us, because obviously they came to us for one reason, and that's because they absolutely love our style and how we work, and
they might enjoy that we're young.
Yeah, maybe they enjoy that we're young and that we have
trends.
What's that?
Updated on trends, not trends, but just we're not.
Yeah, they know we've got a young Gen Z just kind of social media side to us in a way, but also I feel the younger generation's able to follow through with the trends more.
Yeah. Instead
of just sticking to one trend, adapting to trends is what I should say, and rather than just kind of sticking to one trend and then kind of it's all it is just kind of, I think, having a timeless look to it.
So while we're worried about maybe coming off too young, maybe they enjoy the fact that we're young.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that's, now that I think about it, that we look past on.
And I think to add on to that, it's just couples can see that we're young. We're only 20. We've got our own business. That's something we should be proud of. But also it's just maybe couples like that, we might have more of an introverted side to us rather than an extroverted side. Maybe couples prefer that. You don't, I kind of realized that this last year was that, I'm just going to stay an introvert. I'm not gonna, fake being an extrovert because that's not me. I'd rather be myself when filming weddings, when planning weddings, when, doing all that kind of stuff, rather than just having like a brand that isn't me, isn't us. So, but also it's just like we love working with like those introverted couples, but I think because we're introverts, it's like where we kind of work a lot better with those extroverted couples as well.
I feel like I can be extroverted if I'm with an extroverted couple, but I can also be introverted if I'm with an introverted couple.
Their energy is able to kind of reflect.
I work well with everyone.
With that. Yeah. We
both do.
I feel like we both work well with a lot of different personalities, and obviously that's a good thing. So
yeah.
Just with imposter syndrome, I think it's just like trying to find things that you can be proud of instead of bashing yourself for like, not getting as much shots during the wedding day, or like, not feeling like you're good enough, or not feeling like you're in the right room with this wedding deal. Like, gosh, like
the biggest thing though is like how you get on yourself about like deadlines and this and that, but then when you
oh my gosh, yes.
And then when you hear about how people actually do it, you're just like, oh
yeah. Haley and I went out to coffee this morning, and we met with one of our favorite photographers in town, Chris and Lara. Chris and Lara. Lara, I'm sorry. I mispronounce your name almost every single time we meet at a wedding. But Chris was basically saying just like how, and obviously we were talking about other videographers and, what the turnaround time was, because I was feeling like very behind. And he was basically just saying like, other videographers' standards turnaround times are like anywhere from 3 to 6 months. And
we were shooting for like a month, 2 months.
And I was just kind of talking to him about just like how I would rather have a couple wait on something for, a little extra longer time than, obviously keeping them updated, but just like letting them know that it's like, you guys are going to have this for the next 50 plus years. And this is something that Emma Kay was kind of touching base on too, is just like, you're going to have this film for the next 50 years, and we want to spend a little bit extra time working on this film so that, it can be the best that it can be for you guys. If we only spend like 2 weeks on your film, it's most likely going to look pretty basic. And that's something we're trying to improve on this year. Yeah, we have spent, a good 2 weeks editing of some films during our busy season, because we have to get on to the next one and deadlines. But I think until I realized like that turnaround times were anywhere from 3 to 6 months, I feel like that's given me a whole new perspective of approaching this next year. And feeling comfortable with telling couples like, yeah, it takes time to make a wedding film that can be good. Because we want it to look good for you guys. We want to spend a lot more time on these films for you guys. Yeah. Because the last thing we want to do is just rush your film. And because I think like when you rush a film, it definitely shows in the end result.
That was good.
Yeah.
Does it feel more natural?
This does feel more natural. Haley and I spent like 30 minutes trying to film in this episode, and we were like, you know what? Like, we completely changed our topic. We decided that I was just going to make a video over the slow season. And just, we found something that, I think we can both relate to and feel comfortable talking about. But yeah, I feel like it's just like a part of me just wants to be good. And
it's also good acknowledging that you are 20 years old, and like,
right.
I don't know, you're doing phenomenal for.
Oh, that's another thing I was saying. Like, you saying that, it's just like, I was like, yeah, I should give myself more grace for that. But then again, it's just like, we should be giving ourselves more patience with like, stuff like this. And like, I get so caught up in like, where it's like, I want to be up there with like some of the top vendors. Like, I feel like that's where I want to fit in. But then at the same time, it's just like, we've only been doing this for 3 years. Those other guys have been doing it for 10 plus years.
And it takes time.
A certain percentage of all these videographers don't even make it up there, even if, they try. I'm sure a lot of it's luck. Giving myself more time to just sit and relax.
And be in the moment and take in the, current stuff that's going on.
Just appreciating what we've got.
Yeah.
Reflecting on, how this last season went.
We can always appreciate what's going on now, but then learn for, the years to come.
Yeah. I think it gives more, room to reflect on this last year if we just kind of slow down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to look back on this year and just be like, man, that went by so fast. In a way, that's good, but, in a way where I don't want to look back and be like, what did I even do?
We should talk about what we could improve on. Just, things we've learned this year.
Okay.
Or goals. We could do goals.
Let's do both. Things we can reflect on, what we've learned. What are some mistakes that we've made?
A few mistakes we've made. Lack of coordination when we almost forgot to be down the ceremony aisle.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, we're being hella vulnerable right now. It was around a time during the summer, and it was beautiful outside, and
they had some detail shots out there.
Yeah, they had some really cool details out there that we wanted to get. I went out there and started getting some details with Haley.
And then all of a sudden.
And it was just going to be a quick, 5-second clip. And then I was like, ooh, those wine bottles look awesome. And so, before we know it, music starts playing and we go back inside and get there just in time.
The day of coordinator, held off for a second. Not too long, but.
She was great.
We made it there just in time.
We should have been there. We should have not been getting details right before the ceremony. With the ceremony, you should be
just waiting.
Just waiting, prepared for anything to happen.
But we got everything.
Yeah, we had our tripods there. We had everything set up. It's just we made a mistake of leaving the ceremony to get a shot. And I'll say it wasn't during the ceremony. It was during the processional.
Yeah, we didn't miss anything. We weren't.
Yeah.
Unprofessional. It was just we were behind.
So I think we could definitely plan more accordingly with
the day of coordinator, the photographer,
especially the photographer.
Be more vocal and figure out what's
being more
going on.
vocal. And I always tell them where we're gonna be during the ceremony.
Yeah.
But just talk to them, just getting to know the photographers more. Just kind of forming that relationship with them, and letting them know that we are not videographers who screw up the wedding day.
We've never messed up a wedding day, though.
No, I'm just saying, there's a lot of photographers and vendors out there that kind of have some, how do I word this? There's videographers out there that lack communication, and that rubs off on photographers and coordinators and wedding vendors.
Something less, what is it? Less vulnerable. We can just work on being more, we were talking about it earlier with, poses. We can be more on the spot and, knowing what to do.
Yeah.
And getting rid of the imposter syndrome and just, we were hired for a reason and being able to step up and coordinate because that's what they want us for.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it, I heard this on a podcast not too long ago. Someone was saying, don't be afraid to jump in and get some shots.
I think we should try more whenever they're like, hey, do you have anything? I think we should do less poses, and I think we should do more movement.
Exactly.
I think we should have our own stuff. I think we should be dual and mutual.
Well, and I think, to kind of touch on, the controversial side with, photographers kind of hating on some videographers. Not that there's a lot of that going around, but I know there's stories out there where photographers feel kind of invaded by videographers.
But I think videographers are making a comeback and
so
comeback, but
I think I'm getting to where it's you just got to trust the couple. They hired a photographer, but they also hired a videographer.
It should just be 50-50.
It should just either be 50-50
or
just trying to work in a way where it works for the both of you, whether that's adding movement to photos.
Do good.
Yeah. Chris and Lara, they add lots of movement to their photos. Lara add lots of movement to their photos, which, we love working with those types of photographers because of that reason. Yeah. But again, it's just
something about us is that we like to say we're flies on the wall.
Yeah.
during anything, ceremony, reception, but when it comes to portraits and like headshots and stuff, then we'll step in and add a movement to whatever you have
We're
going on.
kind of like more capturing those candid moments, but we'll step in every once in a while.
Keeping it real, but then also adding in those cute moments that you want to look back on. Yeah, and that's good.
If you're able to work with a photographer, that's great, but there are photographers out there who unfortunately you just might not be able to work with as well as other photographers, and that's fine. It happens.
But anyway,
so
yeah, going back on what we could learn is being less shy and getting out there.
Yeah. And not just like being necessarily louder, but just like like kind of what you were saying with like, you know, thinking more on the spot, like with prompts and, you know, creative prompts that we can tell the couple, and because we can be introverted and we can have some like the best prompts that all couples feel comfortable with. And you kind of got to like understand the couple first. Are they extroverted? Give them extroverted prompts. If they're introverted, give them introverted, more quiet prompts.
I feel like we're really good though with like matching the couple's energy.
Yeah.
So I think that gives us grace. Like we're really good at that.
Yeah. And I think with imposter syndrome, part of me like wants to like have a good relationship with their clients. But then again, it's just like kind of like with the photographers, it's like sometimes you're not going to have, you know, a client that you 100% fit well enough with. And I think that's just, you know, there's room for all of that. I mean, it happens. But I think that's where like questionnaires are very important to send out to your clients, getting to know them during their consultations, offering, you know, one-on-one sessions, interview sessions with your clients, which that's something we're getting to kind of pushing out this year, just to get to know our clients better. And it's just fun. I think that'd be so cool to offer couples. Not many videographers are doing that, so I'd love to do that. Yeah, just like taking couples, you know, either out to lunch or just out to their favorite spot and, you know, having a good interview session with them. Ooh, you know what I think we should start doing? You know how Barnett Grace Hill gives out gift bags? Mm-hmm. We should give like some clients, like VIP clients, or all of our clients. We should start giving out like little gift bags or like a little gift card to like one of their favorite places, you know, just to like show a little bit more appreciation.
But we won't know what their favorite things are.
That's where we ask them during their consultations. What do you guys like to hang out?
Are you talking about like the other vendors or the clients?
Clients.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't.
Vendors might be. I would understand if it's like a.
Okay.
You know what Barnett Grace Hill does. Barnett Grace Hill gives out little gift bags, which is awesome. They give it out to all the vendors. Yeah, it's like a little fuel bag to fuel you through the day. I think really with imposter syndrome, it's just like, yeah, you're going to deal with it probably the rest of your career.
Rest of your life.
Yeah, it's never going to go away.
In any category.
But you just got to give yourself more grace, more patience, and more information. You just kind of got to let yourself know, like, you are doing what you're doing. You are doing a good job. Clients reach out to you for a reason, and they appreciate, you know, how you work. But also, like, going back and reflecting. Like, is there anything that we could be doing differently? Like, how can we improve? Doing that every single year and just kind of not stopping, you know, reflecting. I don't know how to word that, but always looking back and seeing how you can improve each year. That's exactly what we're doing.
I think we covered a good chunk.
Let's look on Reddit.
I mean, now's a good time to share some moments we've had from this year. Your like thing falling off your camera mid.
So, yeah, my
funny moments we've had this year.
Funny moments.
Like memorable moments.
Yeah, funny videography moments.
Memorable moments.
We were filming a ceremony. It was a Catholic ceremony, and so it was like a full mass. There was like over 200 people there. The processional was happening. Groom had already walked down the aisle, and my on-camera monitor, or my external monitor for my camera, just decides to fall off of my camera. Thank goodness the HDMI cable was holding everything together, but I think I scared a few people. I think I scared a few of the first seat people.
The bridal party?
No, it was just guests that were sitting right in front of me because I was kind of peeking out to the side, and then I went to stand up, and then the monitor just falls off the camera going forward, and so the people in the front seats kind of got a good startle. I think they pretended that they didn't see anything, but I saw on your camera, and this one guy was just like, "What in the world?" Amateurs. I felt like such an idiot that day. And that's just another thing with imposter syndrome. Like, it's just, I worry so much about that kind of stuff. Like, oh my goodness, I made such a fool out of myself. What is everyone going to think about me? I'm not going to be able to make any more bookings from this wedding. People are going to think I'm stupid. People are going to think I don't know what I'm doing.
There's so many times, like this most recent wedding, I cannot hide my emotions to save my life. And you know that. And so the most recent wedding, I was...
Like your facial emotions?
Anything. If I'm freezing, I'll let it be known.
Oh, yeah.
And we were outside, and I was just kind of like on my knee. No, I was like crouching down, and I was like huddling over my legs. And then there have been so many weddings, and everyone's like, "You cold?" And I'm like, "Yes." I don't know.
Yeah.
I loved the banter that we've had with... It was the ushers that I was cracking jokes with.
Yeah.
Or
Haley's good at like just...
I'm really good at like bonding with...
Yeah, like you're great at that kind of stuff. Just
you were laughing
being friendly
the whole time. Or there was a time where we don't have it on video. So there was, I don't know what it was, a June bug, right? A June bug? Or was it like those big things?
Oh, not cicada killers. Cicadas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like running for my life, but trying to be nonchalant. And then eventually I just see the DJ in the back laughing. Yeah. And I was like, oh. And then at the end he was like, that was pretty funny out there. And I was like, yeah.
This is kind of something that I guess Jake and Nate talk about. They have people submit like crazy vendor stories or just wedding stories. Oh, this is a good one. This isn't really a story, but this is kind of like just a hot take. How long do you think it'll be before couples realize the value they are getting from a wedding video versus wedding photos? Do you think the market will ever switch to video being valued more to couples? Before I read anything, what's your take on this?
I don't think it'll ever switch, but I think it'll be mutual.
Yeah,
I think that
definitely mutual.
I don't know. I think that there's...
I think just people have their own opinions about it.
I think it'll be based off of clients.
Yeah, like everyone kind of wants something different, and I think that's just up to the client to decide.
Yeah.
I think some people like video over photo, and some people like it equally. Some people like photos more.
Maybe. I think it'll... Yeah, I don't see photography losing.
Yeah, like I don't think photography or videography is going to go non-existent. I mean,
I think that photography could stay the same, but I think videography will grow.
Yeah. I feel like there's more room to evolve with videography.
Yeah.
And get more creative.
Like a lot of people are like, oh, I've been told that not having one's going to be the biggest mistake ever. So I think now it's...
Oh, yeah. I definitely think couples are seeing that it's like, if they don't pick like a wedding videographer, they might regret it. Mm-hmm. And we aren't afraid to tell couples that. Like, 80% of the couples we've talked to is, they've regretted not having a videographer at their wedding. Because, it's just evolved so much after, like 2016.
And I feel like after you lose people, like in your family,
mm-hmm.
They don't realize how important it is not only to see them, but also hear them.
Yeah.
Just because it's nice to have that like memory. And I think videography is such a special thing that can do that for people.
Absolutely. Like, I think, like, once people realize, like, yeah, they might have photos of their loved ones, but, like, when they're able to hear and actually visualize, like, one of their family members or friends, whoever it is, if they're able to hear that, then that's huge because they can't hear that with photos.
And I feel like we make sure to always include that in packages all the time.
With videography, there's you use more of your senses obviously, like sight. You use more of that. You use more, hearing obviously. And so it's just, especially with speeches, like speeches, they're absolute gold mines for like finding a couple's story. That's what we edit off of. The first thing we do when we post-process a wedding film is we immediately start with their speeches if they've got that with their package. and we just review their speeches, because that's, even if they don't have it in their package, we'll review those and kind of look back at those, just kind of get a refresh of their story, and just find anything that's, you know, either emotional or funny in there that we can use for the highlight film. But yeah, I think like overall it's just like it's up to the couple. I don't think videography. I definitely think videography is going to continue to grow as well as photography, but videography is making more of like, not a comeback, just like
It's being recognized.
It's being recognized more. Yeah. Couples' interests are definitely
Are realizing how important it is to have that part of your day, because you only experience that day once.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to have just not only those pictures, but you can also just look back on that video every anniversary, and or if you have lost a family member, you can look back on that and just kind of always have that day.
Yeah, like we've sent multiple couples just footage, you know, of, you know, grandparents, you know, like first wedding I filmed up, I think the bride's grandfather passed away, like I don't know how many months it was after their wedding. And so I just, you know, it's just something to honor and give that footage to them for free. And that's just something that couples don't really think about when capturing weddings. So,
And we do, and that's the best part.
and that's the best part about it. That's what I love most about it. Capturing memories and creating films that couples can relive their day for a lifetime.
Yep.
Couples are definitely starting to recognize the value of videography more. Obviously with video, back then it was just like still candid, like tripod camcorder shots, you know, no really like film to it. And I think that's another thing is like, you know, videographers, they're able to like actually create, you know, a film style cinematography. They're able to craft a film that's got the couple's story on it. You know, they're able to edit it on their computer instead of, you know, hiring, you know, these production teams, and rather than putting it on a CD and sending it to the couples, they just can send it to them digitally now. And it's just such a digital age right now where videographers are able to utilize that. So that wraps up podcast episode 2. If you found this video enjoyable, if you found it helpful, please feel free to subscribe, like this video for more to come. What is it? I think we'll post one next week probably. I know I'll post a video about, you know, different ways to navigate the slow season. So be on the lookout for that. And we will see you next time. Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Don't change me. Money don't change. My friends stay the same. Oh, my friends stay the same. The money don't change me. Money don't change. Got to change everything. Everything.